Okay, back with the HobbyKing transmitter and receiver. The intention of this exercise is related to use in a sailboat. We have the transmitter, we have the receiver, a battery pack, a sail winch and a rudder servo. At the moment the transmitter is mode 1. That's the way that this particular unit has come, that they're available in mode 1 and mode 2. What it means is that mode 1 has got what's effectively a throttle control on that stick there. As you can see, I've got it set up that it's currently on channel 3 of the 4-channel system, and channel 3 is controlling the sail winch. I have the steering on channel 4 like that, so side to side there. My personal preference is to have the steering there side to side and the sail winch there, and I would like, that's a spring return, so I would like that one to be not spring return. So we are now going to make some modifications so that those things happen. First thing we do is disconnect the power from everything, and then I'll open the transmitter. Okay, now remove the 4 screws from the back. Of course, we should mention that once you proceed beyond this point, you're going to avoid your warranty. However, life's like that sometimes. We now split the transmitter, which is sometimes easier said than done. We leave a part like that, and we go like that. You can see what happens inside. It's a really good idea to disconnect the battery, so let's do that. We'll set that section of the transmitter aside. We're interested in this, the articles that we are interested in. Let me come closer. We've got a ratchet arrangement there, which is the one that holds currently the right stick in whatever position you leave it. We're going to take that off and we're going to transfer that to the other side, and we're going to put it on there so that it makes use of that ratchet arrangement there. So that'll be the first change. I'll just do that. Okay, we've now made the change. That item there, the little ratchet, has been moved from being in that hole there and running on that little guy across to the other side, and now is there and runs on that. Now you can see that that still has got some spring return on it, and if we look really closely down in this area, you can see a little lever there with a spring on it that we need to take off. So I'm going to take that off next. Okay, we now have the spring unhooked, and you can see it, if I can get things in the right place here. The spring unhooked, you can see him laying down in there. We're interested in the lever that goes across here. Now that the spring is no longer on it, it's possible to turn that lever up and slide it off. Looks like that. We'll just set that aside for a moment, and we then need to rescue the rest of the spring from down at the bottom here. Oops, and there it goes. I'll find it in a minute. Okay, having located the spring from on the floor, you can see that I've now transferred it to the other side, that there he is there, and I've hooked it on the bottom. We now take the little bracket that I removed before, that goes like this, on there like that, sits down in place, and we've just got to hook the spring and pop it up and over the top. Sometimes easier said than done. A good pair of tweezers will make it good, these are not a good pair of tweezers. Okay, so after a bit of fiddling around with a very poor pair of tweezers, we now have the spring installed there, as you can see, and now when we move the control up and down, you can see it does that. So the end result, when we turn the unit back over, is that we have a non-centering servo there with a ratchet on it that we can use for a sail winch, and we have a really useful rudder control there. All I need to do now is put it back together and give it a big test. Just working on reassembly. The battery goes back there. Make sure that there's no cables tangled up around the back of those. Popping back together. 4 screws. Light comes on, that's always a good start. We'll put our test setup back together again. So we have the sail winch, the rudder servo. We need to just apply some power to the transmitter. Now, what have we got? We obviously need to rearrange the servos a bit, don't we? I happen to know that the rudder servo needs to go on channel 1, like so. And the sail winch servo will go on channel 2. How does that look? So we've now converted this unit from a mode 1 to a mode 2 operation. Mode 1, the throttle was on this side. The throttle has now moved over to this side. Obviously you've got to use different servo channels, so easy. Mr. Penguin signing off.